Hi guys, Football-ManagerYouthDevelopment.co.uk here. Welcome to this Football Manager 2014 video. We are going to be taking a look at how to keep player morale high. When managing any team on Football Manager, morale can be a very important aspect when it comes to winning football matches and improving your club. Morale can help win football matches, and of course winning football matches brings success. We are today going to discuss how to keep player morale high on Football Manager 2014. This can be done in several ways. We're firstly going to take a look at winning football matches. It's quite a simple formula. If you win football matches, you're going to be increasing morale. So let's have a think of where a player can play as part of a winning team at your club. Depending on the setup, you may have a reserve team, and you're probably going to have an under-18 team, and of course your first team. So you might have a striker at your football club who has poor morale and who's not scoring. You might want to consider dropping them from the first team and letting them try and win some games in the reserve team. It might also be worthwhile when loaning a player out to a football team a few divisions lower than your team. You'd hope that they might start being involved in matches where they can score a few goals and improve their morale. And of course, when they come back from loan, this should hopefully carry through for your team and when they're playing in the first team for you. We're next going to have a look at private chats. Now, I think this is the very best way to improve morale. If you've got a player on bad form, you need to tell him that he's got to buck his ideas up, or that you have faith and that you can get better. You need to really think about how the player might respond to this. So with certain players, you can also warn them that you'll be dropping them or place them on the transfer list. This can sometimes improve morale. If you've got a player who's playing good football and is on a high average rating, tell him that he is doing well, and of course you've got faith in him. If morale is on very good, you might even be able to increase the morale even further to superb. So yeah, private chats are vital on Football Manager 2014 for making sure that you keep morale high. Be careful though to work out what works for each player at your football club. So yeah, you basically just remember that you are the football manager, so you've got to manage the morale of your players. So yeah, don't be too harsh on them, too often, otherwise this can really damage morale at your football club. The next thing you can do to increase morale in Football Manager is to offer your player a new contract. So it's obviously something that's just the way football's gone now. So yeah, football's all about money, and as a football manager you are able to offer new contracts to your players. So if someone's morale is low and you want to keep them, considering offering them a new contract to the player. Personally, I'll probably use this as a last resort for improving morale. Obviously it will improve morale, but yeah, it's going to cost you a lot of money, so yeah, be very considerate when doing this on Football Manager. The fourth way to improve morale in Football Manager is to use team talks. Obviously you need to do a team talk at the beginning of every game, at half time and at the end. So I'm going to use a phrase again that I used earlier in this video. You are the football manager, so you need to manage morale. So team talks are vital for managing morale. You need to work out what works for your team. Do you have a lot of young players in your team? If so, don't be too harsh on them. If you keep losing, tell them that you have faith in them and they will start winning football matches. If you're playing against a better football club, you can manage morale by firstly telling them that they are the underdogs and that there is no pressure on them. You can then do individual team talks for each player to tell them you have faith in them. If you're winning at half time, then maybe tell your players that you're pleased with how they are playing. If you're losing at half time, maybe depending on your team, try and tell your players that you've got faith in them, or try being a bit harsh on them to make them do better. You do need to try this out though to get the most out of your team talks. Obviously, depending on the sort of nature of your team, who you've got, who you're playing against, what division you're in, etc. There can be loads of different things to do. Just remember, if you keep losing every single week, morale is bad. My number one tip would just be to tell the players that they've got no pressure on them, and then I'd tell every single player at that football club that I've got faith in them. I always find this works really well in Football Manager. So if you're in a losing streak, just try that just for a few games, and I can promise you that morale will start to increase. And obviously once morale's starting to increase and you're going to start winning football matches. So just remember, however you choose to manage morale at your football club, you just need to try things out and make sure if something works, then just keep doing it. So yeah, that'd be my number one tip basically for improving morale. The fifth and final tip that I'm going to be providing for this video to keep morale high is to have a private chat with your players and ask them if they can recommend to sign any members of staff or any players. Obviously, if you've got players at your club and you're asking them who they'd like to bring to the club, and you do actually bring that person or player into the club, then that can be a very, very good way to improve morale with your players. So I'd recommend doing that. What you can also do as well is, if you've got players with quite low morale and you've got some youngsters who need tutoring, you can also set it so that your players are going to be tutoring. This is a very good way to help improve morale, especially some of your older players. Obviously, you can any player over the age of 23 can be a tutor. So yeah, have a think about if you can sort of pair them up with a young player, and that can be a very, very good way of improving morale with your player. So yeah, they're my tips that I would give for improving morale in Football Manager. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, guys. Yeah, we're going to be creating lots more videos like this. I'm going to just be doing like loads of how-to videos, sort of simple hints and tips. Obviously, morale's a very important thing to have on Football Manager. You can obviously, the power of morale is actually very, very high on Football Manager. If your team is doing pretty badly and the morale's not high, then you're going to start losing a lot of games. So it's very, very important to keep morale high. I hope some of my tips have helped you. In the description you'll see that I've left the full description, so you can have a read of that as well if that will help you. And yeah, so thanks for watching this video, guys. We're going to be back soon with some more videos. Thank you for watching.